Hello dear kids, welcome back to the social science class, and today we are going to learn a new chapter from geography, that is life in the desert regions, Sahara and Ladakh. Desert. The word desert conjures up in our minds miles and miles of hot sand, cactus and date palms and camels. This may be true for hot deserts, but there are cold deserts too, where the ground is covered with snow and the climate is severely cold. In this chapter, we are going to learn about two types of deserts. One is hot, that is Sahara Desert, and another one is cold desert, that is Ladakh. So let us have a look into the mind map of our chapter. Life in the desert regions, Sahara and Ladakh. In this chapter, we will discuss about the features: location, the land, climate, natural vegetation and wildlife, human activities, transport and cities, and life of the people in both the Sahara Desert and also in the Ladakh Desert. So let us learn together. A desert may be defined as a region which receives very low rainfall and has sparse vegetation and experiences extremes of temperatures. And deserts are of two types, hot and cold. The hot deserts are found in the tropical regions and the cold deserts are found either in higher altitudes of the temperate regions or in high latitudes such as the polar regions. So now we are beginning with the first, the hot desert, the Sahara Desert. So let us see the location. The Sahara Desert is the largest desert in the world. First of all, you remember the Sahara Desert is the largest desert in the world, and with an area of about 8.54 million square kilometers, and it covers almost the whole of North Africa or Northern Africa. Here you can see this is what Africa. In the northern portion of this Africa, this entire portion is covered with the Sahara Desert. And the Sahara extends from the Atlantic Ocean here. This is what Atlantic Ocean. So the Sahara extends from the Atlantic Ocean in the west to the Red Sea. Here you can see to the Red Sea in the east. This is Red Sea. This is Atlantic Ocean. So in the west, the boundary is Atlantic Ocean, and in the east, it is Red Sea. And what about north and south? Yeah, in the north it is bounded by the Mediterranean Sea. This sea is known as what? Mediterranean Sea. Okay, so in the north it is bounded by the Mediterranean Sea and the Atlas Mountains. This one, this side one, this is Atlas Mountains, and in the south it merges into the savanna grasslands, this area. Okay, and let us see the features of the land. What is the speciality of the land over here in Sahara Desert? Sahara is not entirely a sandy desert. Okay, it's not entire portion is not covered with sand. There are extensive areas of pebbles and gravel and smooth bare rocky surfaces. And the land surface of the Sahara does not have uniform relief. It's not equal. Much of it's plain, but there are a few plateaus and mountain ranges like the Tibetsi range and the Ahagar range. Sahara is dotted with several oases where water is available. The Nile and the Niger rivers flow along the eastern and southern borders of the desert respectively, and Lake Chad on the southern border is the only freshwater lake in this desert. And what about the climate? Yes, the climate of the Sahara Desert is generally hot and dry. It's hot and dry. And the highest temperature of the world, 58 degrees Celsius, has been recorded here at Al Azizia. So, the highest temperature of the world, 58 degree, has been recorded here at Al Azizia in Libya. Okay. And the temperature ranges from below freezing point on winter night to about 55 degrees Celsius, mind, and during the daytime in summer. And the humidity is very low and the skies are cloudless. Rainfall is scanty. So, this is what about the climatic condition of Sahara Desert. And what about the natural vegetation and wildlife? As we all know, the extreme climatic conditions and scarcity of water do not favor luxuriant plant growth in the deserts. This is what the same the condition in Sahara too. Thorny bushes and shrubs are common over here. Then cactus and acacia trees are the main species. And date palms are found near the oasis. And plants in the desert have long roots, thick barks and small leathery leaves to reduce the rate of transpiration. Okay. And desert wildlife consists of antelopes, gazelles, hares, rodents, desert foxes, hyenas, snakes, lizards and different types of insects. Okay, these all things are found in Sahara Desert. And let us see something about the human activities. What the people of this desert region doing? Animal rearing, cultivation of crops, trading and mining are the main occupations of the people of the Sahara Desert. The animal herders of the Sahara raise camel, sheep and goats. Tuaregs and the Bedouins are important nomadic tribes who move from one place to another place along with their animals in search of water and pastures. And the animals provide them milk, meat and hides. Yes. And many of the pastoral people of Sahara no longer lead nomadic lives and have now settled down. Okay. And cultivation of crops is practiced in the Nile Valley in the Egypt and in the oasis. Cereals such as wheat, maize, barley and millets are grown. Date palm is very valuable tree, and vegetables and fruits like figs, olives and apricots are also grown here. Cotton is an important commercial crop in the Nile Valley. Okay, very important. Cotton is an important commercial crop in the Nile Valley. And the Sahara Desert is rich in minerals like iron ore, copper, manganese and uranium. Fossil fuels like coal, petroleum and natural gas are also found in abundance. Hence, mining and oil drilling are important occupations in Sahara Desert. And what about transport and cities? Yes, camel. Camel is called the ship of the desert, though the ancient camel caravans have now been replaced by motorways, and camels are still used for carrying goods and people. Okay. Many parts of the Sahara are now connected by air, and in Egypt the Nile and its canals provide good inland waterways. Cairo, the capital of Egypt, is the largest city in the Sahara. So, which is the largest city in the Sahara Desert? It's Cairo, the capital of Egypt. Giza, famous for its pyramids and sphinx. What is sphinx? Yeah, it is headed with a woman's face and also with of a lion, and it's a major tourist center. And Timbuktu in Mali is an important trading post. Then Port Zaid and Alexandria in Egypt and Tripoli, the Libyan capital, are big ports on the Mediterranean Sea. Now let us learn about the lifestyle of the people in the Sahara Desert. Life in the Sahara Desert is difficult and the natives have to adapt their lifestyle according to the harsh physical conditions. They wear loose and light cotton clothes to protect themselves from heat and dust. The desert houses have thatched roofs and are thick walled with small windows prevent heat that protect the people from extreme heat of the desert. And in recent times, mining the people activities and oil exploration have enabled them to develop their economy and import their requirements for other countries. And the life of the people in the Sahara is gradually changing from a nomadic one to a more modernized one. Okay. Now here you can watch the documentary regarding the features of Sahara Desert. Now we will move to the next desert, that is a cold desert, and it is Ladakh. Here you can see the map. Now it's a union territory, right? Let us see the location. Ladakh is one of the 9 union territories in India, and it lies to the north of the Greater Himalayas here, and it is bounded by the Karakoram Range in the north and Sanskar mountains in the south, and the Ladakh range runs through this region. Okay, and let us learn about the land. Situated amidst high mountain ranges, Ladakh is a cold and barren desert. There are several mountain passes which provide access to Ladakh. Karakoram and Zojila are the big ones, and the region is drained by the river Indus and its tributaries Shyok, Saskar, Nubra and Suru. These rivers have cut deep valleys in the otherwise rocky desert surface, and there are many glaciers in the region. Pangong, Tso and Tso Moriri are two big and beautiful lakes in this region. And what about the climate? Yes, Ladakh experiences an extreme climate. During summer, the days are warm with the sun shining very brightly, and nights are very cool. Humidity is very low, and during winter, it is severely cold. Since Ladakh lies to the north of the Himalayas, it falls within the rain shadow area of mountain ranges, and southwest monsoon winds, upon reaching the Himalayas from here, cause a lot of rainfall on its southern slopes. When these winds cross the mountains and reach Ladakh, there is no moisture left in them, and thus rainfall in Ladakh is almost negligible. And during winter, however, there is heavy snowfall in this region. And what about the natural vegetation and wildlife? Yes, due to scanty rainfall, the vegetation in Ladakh is sparse, and some stunted trees like willow, then cypress, then elm, juniper and poplar are found in the valleys and the lower slopes of these mountains. And the higher slopes have grasses and shrubs. The wildlife consists of Tibetan antelopes called chiru, wild goats, sheep, yaks, and Tibetan wild ass called kyam. Birds like pigeon, carrion crow, then chukar and golden eagle are common in Ladakh. Let us learn about the human activities in Ladakh region. Animal rearing, agriculture and tourism are the main occupations of the people of Ladakh. Yaks, goats and sheep are raised on the mountain pastures. Then yak is very useful animal. It provides people with milk, wool and hair. Then sheep and goats are mainly reared for milk, meat and wool. And wool of a very fine quality called pashmina is collected from these goats, pashmina goats. And Ladakh is famous for producing excellent quality shawls, blankets and carpets. Agriculture also practiced in the valleys and on the lower slopes. Crops are grown in the summer season from May to September, when the temperature is comparatively high. Then wheat, barley, vegetables and fruits like apples, apricots, walnuts and grapes are also grown. And in winter, the extremely cold weather does not permit agriculture. So during this time, the people engage themselves in handicrafts like weaving and carpet making. Tourism is an important economic activity in Ladakh. The stark mountainous landscape of this place, the Gombas and the festivals attract many tourists, then domestic as well as international. What is Gombas? Gombas is a place, Buddhist monarchies or the temples, and the government promotes tourism here by organizing the Sindhu festival in June every year. And transportation and cities. The rugged terrain makes it very difficult to develop a good transport system in Ladakh, and there are only a few motorable roads in this region. Leh is the most important town in Ladakh, and it is the administrative and commercial headquarters of the region, and it is connected to the Kashmir Valley by a road which passes through the Zojila. Another road which passes through the Khardungla and connects Leh to Srinagar, and the Manali Leh road is the one of the highest motorable road in the world. Yes, then Kargil is another important town. Both Leh and Kargil have air services. Let us learn something about the lifestyle of the people, how they lead their life. The harsh physical conditions have made the people of Ladakh sturdy, and they have adapted their lifestyle to suit their surroundings. Houses are built in small clusters along the streams where farming is possible, or along the few roads in the region, and they are made of sun-dried bricks and have flat roofs. The people of eastern Ladakh are Tibetan Buddhist. Ladakhi is the language spoken here. So, Ladakhi is the language spoken in Ladakh, and there are a number of Buddhist monasteries called Gombas. Yes, I said Buddhist monasteries or temples. It's known as what? Gombas in this region. The Hemis and Tikse are some famous of Gombas. And in western Ladakh, the people are mostly Muslims. They speak Balti language. Balti language. It is spoken by the Muslims of the Ladakh region. And the government of India has undertaken a number of measures to improve the living conditions of the people of Ladakh. Then transport and communication system is being developed. Irrigation facilities are being provided. The hydropower potential is being adapted or tapped, and tourism is being promoted on a large scale. And here you can see the documentary regarding the features of Ladakh.
Manali to Leh Ladakh road trip is considered as one of the most beautiful road trips in the world. Leh Ladakh is called paradise on earth because of its breathtaking beauty, stunning landscapes, calm and serene lakes, lush green pastures and barren deserts. So, here is the list of top 5 places which you should definitely visit on your trip to Leh Ladakh. Nubra Valley. Nubra Valley is a beautiful valley located in northeast of Ladakh. It is about 150 kilometers from Leh town. The Shyok River meets the Nubra or Siachen River to form the valley. Nubra Valley is basically a cold desert famous for double hump camels. These camels were brought to Nubra from Afghanistan pre-independence, and later they became integral part of Nubra culture. So if you're planning a trip to Leh, then Nubra is among the must-visit places. Khardungla Pass. Khardungla Pass is the highest motorable road pass in the world and is gateway to Shyok and Nubra Valley. It is situated at an elevation of 17,582 feet above the sea level. This mountain pass is located at a distance of 32 kilometers from Leh. After reaching Khardungla, one is advised to stay not more than 15 minutes as one can suffer nausea due to lack of oxygen at such heights. On the top, there is a small Shiva temple, so if you're planning a trip to Leh, then Khardungla is a must-visit place. Magnetic Hill. Magnetic Hill is a gravity hill located near Leh in Ladakh. The layout of the area and surrounding slopes create an optical illusion that the downhill road is actually an uphill road. Objects and cars on the hill may appear to roll uphill in defiance of gravity when they are in fact rolling downhill. Tikse Monastery. Tikse Monastery is located on top of a hill in Tikse, approximately 19 kilometers east of Leh in Ladakh. It is noted for its resemblance to Patola Palace in Lhasa, Tibet, and is largest Gompa in central Ladakh. So, if you're planning a trip to Leh Ladakh, then Thiksey Monastery should always be on your wish list. Pangong Lake. Pangong Lake is also referred as the High Grassland Lake and is situated at a distance of 229 km from Leh town. This lake is 134 km in length, most of which lies in Tibetan Plateau. So, if you're planning a trip to Leh, then Pangong is a must-visit place.
So that's great. Let us have a recap of our chapter. We have learned about the desert. A desert is a region which receives very low rainfall, has sparse vegetation and extremes of temperatures. And we learned there are two types of desert, hot desert and cold desert. Then Sahara is the largest hot desert in the world and it is located in northern Africa. And vegetation is sparse in the Sahara. Plants have long roots, then thorns and small leathery leaves. And occupation, animal rearing, cultivation of crops, trading and mining are the main occupations of the people of Sahara. And we also learned about a cold desert, that is Ladakh, and it is located in the eastern part of Jammu and Kashmir. It's a union territory right now. And vegetation in Ladakh is sparse with stunned willows, poplars and grasses. Then animal rearing, agriculture and tourism are the main occupations of the people of Ladakh. So, learn the chapter well. All the best. Take care. Bye bye.